Don't we all have that one friend who seems to know an insufferable amount about a bunch of random topics? That one friend who chimes in with the odd and sometimes incredibly disturbing little snippet of knowledge out of nowhere? Hi, my name is Carly, and if you don't already have that friend, congratulations. Now you do. I delight in researching anything and everything that piques my curiosity in the least bit. And as my husband has pointed out, we carry a mini supercomputer in our pockets every single day. So anytime I have the slightest curiosity about any given thing, from how wine gets its price to the difference between a Yeti and a Wendigo, I just look it up. Welcome to I'm Already Looking It Up. Let's sit down, relax, maybe have a drink or two, and learn a few things. Hello, and welcome to I'm Already Looking It Up, the podcast where I, your host, research a random topic and tell you, my lovely listeners, all about it. So without further ado, let's get started. Today's topic may kind of come from yesterday's, or I guess I shouldn't say today's, since all of these are coming out kind of at once. Last episode's topic, it kind of stems from that idea. So last episode we talked a bit about birthstones and the origins of them, and just kind of, how they're kind of like a combination of both Eastern and Western religious ideas, and where they come from. And when I thought of that topic, that also got me thinking, what made us start thinking that gemstones or stones in general could have any sort of mythical or healing properties? I know this is a very common thing nowadays. I know a lot of people think that gems can have these magical properties that help us. And honestly, I'm not going to poo-poo it or anything. I'm not saying that that isn't a thing. Like I mentioned in the episode about luck and superstitions, this is kind of that same feeling where it's kind of the energy you put into it is the energy you'll get out of it. At least in my opinion. I think it's very psychological, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. If you have, a necklace with a certain gemstone in it, and that wearing that necklace makes you feel good because of whatever gemstone is in it, there's nothing wrong with believing that that has some kind of medical or, healing property within it. It's not harming anyone. You do you, boo. So I wanted to kind of look into the history of that, because I do find it fascinating in where humans come up with these ideas. One of the things about me is I really love to write stories, or I used to really love to write stories. And when you're creating a world, or you're writing within the certain world of something, whether it's like fan fiction or however you decide to go about it, that world has rules, and you have to consider where those rules come from. And it's a constant question on my mind. If, like, say I was making up some fantasy world, I would have to ask myself, do these people believe that gems hold any kind of magical property? And what kinds of properties does each gem hold? And you have to kind of go down that rabbit hole a little bit over and over, because whether it's important to the story or not, if you decide that you want to put that world out there, then you have to think about that kind of stuff. I'm actually currently working on a D&D campaign that creates an entire world, so I'll have to consider things like that. And I think they're interesting questions to think about. So I pulled this article. It's just from a site called Crystal Age, that just talks about the history of gemstones and healing, and why We, as humans, sometimes think that some gems hold magical properties or healing properties. So, it is fair to say that as long as we have existed as a species, we've had an affinity for stones and crystals. The use of talismans and amulets dates back to the beginnings of humankind, although we have no way of knowing how the earliest of these objects were viewed or used. Many early pieces were organic in origin. Beads carved of mammoth ivory have been excavated from a grave in Sungir, Russia, dating back 60,000 years, as well as contemporary beads made from shell and fossil shark's teeth. The oldest amulets are of Baltic amber, some from as long as 30,000 years ago, and amber beads were discovered in Britain from 10,000 years ago. The end of the last ice age. The distance they traveled to reach Britain shows their value to the people of that time. Jet was also popular, and jet beads, bracelets, and necklaces have been discovered in Paleolithic grave sites in Switzerland and Belgium. There have been malachite mines since 4000 in Sinai since 4000 BC. Amulets were banned by the Christian Church in 355 AD, but gemstones continued to play an important role, with sapphire being the favored gem for the ecclesiastical rings in the 12th century. Marbodus, the bishop of Rennes, in the 11th century claimed that agate would make the wearer more agreeable, persuasive, and in favor of God. There were also many symbolic references, such as the carbuncle representing Christ's sacrifice. The first historical references of the use of crystals comes from the ancient Sumerians. That's a weirdly written. Comes from the ancient Sumerians. I don't know, who included crystals in magic formulas. The ancient Egyptians used lapis lazuli, turquoise, and carnelian, emerald, and clear quartz in their jewelry. They also carved grave amulets of some gems. The ancient Egyptians used stone primarily for protection and health. Chrysolite, later translated as both topaz and peridot, was used to combat night terrors and purge evil spirits. Egyptians also used crystals cosmetically. Galena, or lead ore, was ground as a powder and used as eyeshadow, known as kohl. Malachite was used in a similar manner. Greenstones, in general, were used to signify the heart of the deceased and were included in burials. Greenstones were used in a similar way at a later period in ancient Mexico. There you go. The ancient Greeks attributed a number of properties to crystals, and many names we use today are of Greek origin. The word crystal comes from the Greek word for ice, as it was believed that clear quartz was water that had frozen so deeply that it would always remain solid. The word amethyst means not drunken and was worn as an amulet to prevent both drunkenness and hangovers. I wonder if that worked. Hematite comes from the word for blood because of the red coloration produced when it oxidizes. Hematite is an iron ore, and the ancient Greeks associated iron with Ares, the god of war. Greek soldiers would rub hematite all over their bodies before battle, purportedly to make themselves invulnerable. Greek sailors also wore a variety of amulets to keep them safe at sea. Jade was highly valued in ancient China, and some Chinese written characters represented jade beads. Musical instruments in the form of chimes were made from jade, and around 1,000 years ago, Chinese emperors were sometimes buried in jade armor. There are burials with jade masks from around the same period in Mexico. Jade was recognized as a kidney healing stone, both in China and South America. More recently, dating from around 250 years ago, the Maoris of New Zealand wore jade pendants representing their ancestor spirits, which were passed down through many generations of the male line. The tradition of green stones being lucky continues in parts of New Zealand to this day. Crystals and gemstones have played a part in all religions. They are mentioned throughout the Bible, in the Quran, and as in many other religious texts. The origin of birthstones is the breastplate of Aaron, or the high priest's breastplate, as mentioned in the book of Exodus. In the Quran, the fourth heaven is composed of carbuncle, or garnet, and the kalpa tree, which represents an offering to the gods in Hinduism, is said to be made entirely of precious stone, and a Buddhist text from the 7th century describes a diamond throne situated near the tree of knowledge, the neem tree under which Siddhartha meditated. On this throne, 1,000 Kalpa Buddhas repose. The Kalpa Sutra in Jainism speaks of Hirangamsi, the divine commander of the foot troops, who seized 14 precious stones, cleansed them of their lesser qualities, and retained only their finest essence to aid his transformations. There's also an ancient sacred lapidary treaty that Ratnapariksha of Buddhapata. Some sources state that it is Hindu, but it is most likely Buddhist. The date is uncertain, but it is probably from the 6th century. In the treaty, diamonds figure highly as the king of gemstones and are ranked according to caste. The Sanskrit word for diamond, varya, I hope that's correct, varya, is also the word for the Hindu goddess Indra's thunderbolt, and diamonds are often associated with thunder. The ruby was also highly revered. It represented an inextinguishable flame and was purported to preserve both the physical and mental health of the wearer. The treaty lists many other gemstones and their properties. In Europe, from the 11th century through the Renaissance, a number of medical treatises appeared extolling the virtues of precious and semi-precious stones in the treatment of certain ailments. Typically, stones were used alongside herbal remedies. Authors included Hildegard von Bingen, Arnoldus Saxo, and John Mandeville. There are also references to stones with particular qualities of strength or protection. In 1232, Hubert de Burgh, the Chief Justice of Henry III, was accused of stealing a gem from the king's treasury, which would make the wearer invincible, and giving it to Llywelyn, and the King of Wales and Henry's enemy. It was also believed that gemstones were corrupted by the original sin of Adam. That gemstones that were corrupted by the original sins of Adam could possibly be inhabited by demons, or if handled by a sinner, their virtues would depart. Therefore, they should be sanctified and consecrated before wearing. There is an echo of this belief today in the cleansing and programming of crystals before use in crystal healing. During the Renaissance, the tradition of using precious stones in healing was still accepted, but the inquiring minds of the period sought to find out how the process actually worked and to give it a more specific explanation. In 1609, Anselmus de Boot, court physician to Rudolph II of Germany, suggested that any virtue gemstone has is due to the presence of good or bad angels. It means to say angels. Yep, I just reread it. Dyslexia got me again. The good angels would confer a special grace to the gems, but the bad angels would tempt people into believing in the stone itself and not in God's gifts bestowed on it. He goes on to name certain stones as helpful and put other qualities down simply to superstition. Later in the same century, Thomas Nichols expressed in his Faithful Lapidary that gems as inanimate objects could not possess the effects claimed in the past. Thus, in the Age of Enlightenment, the use of precious stones for healing and protection began to fall from favor in Europe. In the early 19th century, a number of interesting experiments were conducted to demonstrate the effects of stones on subjects who believed themselves to be clairvoyant. In one case, the subject claimed to feel not only physical and emotional changes when touched with various stones, but also to experience smells and tastes. Although no longer in use medicinally, gemstones continue to hold meaning. Until recently, jet was popularly worn by those in mourning, and garnet was often worn in times of war. There is a tradition in a local family here in southwest England. Every female descendant wears an antique moonstone necklace for her wedding, which has been in the family for generations. It was only recently that one family member realized that it was a fertility symbol. That makes sense? Many tribal cultures have continued the use of gemstones in healing until very recently, if not through the present day. The Zuni tribe in New Mexico makes stone fetishes which represent animal spirits. These were ceremonially fed on powdered turquoise and ground maize. Beautiful inlaid fetishes are still made to sell and are very collectible artifacts or sculptures, although the spiritual practice surrounding them is no longer much in use. Other Native American tribes still hold precious stones, especially turquoise, sacred. Both Aborigines and Maoris have traditions regarding stones and healing of spiritual practice, some of which they share with the rest of the world, while some knowledge still kept private within their communities. It is interesting to note that there are many examples of gemstones meaning similar things to different cultures, even when there has been absolutely no interaction between these cultures and no opportunity for crossover. Jade was considered to be a kidney healing stone by the ancient Chinese, and also Aztec and Mayan civilizations. Turquoise has been worn to give strength and health all over the world, and jaspers have almost always conferred both strength and calm. A new age dawns. In the 1980s, with the advent of new age culture, the use of crystals and gemstones began to reemerge as a healing method. Much of the practice was drawn from old traditions, with more information gained by experimentation and channeling. Books by Katrina Raphael in the 80s and Melody and Michael Gianger in the 90s helped to popularize the use of crystals. These days, there are a large number of books available on the subject, and crystals frequently feature in magazine and newspaper articles. Crystal therapy crosses the boundaries of religious and spiritual beliefs. It is no longer viewed as the domain of alternative culture, but as an acceptable and more mainstream complementary therapy, and many colleges now offer it as a qualification subject. So there you go. There's a brief history of what exactly, I guess maybe not exactly, but the idea of gems and why we hold them in such reverence. I honestly, reading that, I can see how, you're mining or you find some rock and you break it open and there's this beautiful, thing inside. How do you not take that and be like, this is like a gift from God, this is a gift from Mother Nature herself, this is gorgeous. And I think that makes sense. It does. It's very interesting to see how so much of our culture and where we understand these things comes from civilizations that existed so long ago. And I don't know, I just think it's fascinating. I think having a gem and saying this gem is a healing gem and it makes me feel better, There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing. I think if something makes you feel good and it's not hurting anyone else, that's a good thing. And also, though, we should consider the fact that please don't, if it won't work for everyone, for one thing. You have to consider that, don't, pass off, these are gonna take all your problems away. If that's the meaning you can hold to it and it helps you, that's fine. But just know that you don't sell it as, a miracle drug, or snake oil or anything like that. That's not actually how that works. But that is how we operate as humans. We assign meaning to things. Gems are held in such high regard because, thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, we held them in high regard, and we continue to do so to this day. It's kind of like with the last episode with the birthstones. Their meaning is assigned by us. The birthstones that we know today are different from the ones that they, believe started it all in the book of Exodus with the priest's breastplate. And things change over time, but it's the meaning we assign to it that is what makes it special. Like how my birthstone is opal, and that is one of my favorite stones. But it's one of my favorite stones because it's my birthstone. But it's also because it's beautiful. I think opal is gorgeous. But, it's really cool to me that I can equate that with being born in October. And I'm an, big person who loves the fact that I was born in October because I love spooky things and all of that. And it's the same for anything else. In the months of the year, we assign certain meanings to things. Like October is meant to be spooky because it's the month that Halloween is in. But, years and years and years ago, that wouldn't have been what it was. So, anyway, I have another article here that I just kind of want to look at. It basically, I think, says pretty much the same thing. Let's see. Actually, here, I think this would be fun. Let's look at some. Let's see. This article might have it, but I wanted to. Oh, this article has more kind of about the science behind gems. But I think what I want to look up is what kinds of healing properties, or what kinds of properties do certain gems have. So I know citrine is meant to be, promote good health, as far as I know. Okay, what properties do certain gems have? Okay, so, gemstone, physical properties. Let's try crystal. Okay. Nope, that's still kind of going. Healing crystals 101, everything you need to know. This is what I'm looking for here. Some people believe that crystals such as quartz and obsidian may have specific healing properties that benefit your mind, body, and soul. A growing number of Americans have tried some form of complementary and integrative medicine. This can include practices from acupuncture, massage, yoga, tai chi, and even healing crystals. You've probably heard people talking about and showing off these beautiful stones, but you may not know what they have to offer, if anything. There are several different types of crystals. Some people believe they have healing abilities for the mind, body, and soul. Many ancient cultures, including ones in Egypt, Greece, and China, believe that crystals had healing properties. Some people claim that crystals promote the flow of good energy and help rid your body and mind of negative energy for physical and emotional benefits. They believe certain crystals benefit your sleep, help you manifest your desires, and add an additional healing element to Reiki. But it's important to note that almost no scientific evidence supports the use of crystals or other forms of energy healing. So it goes to say there's no scientific evidence, and then the next section says the science behind crystals, even though it literally just said there is no science, but it's fine. Crystals have largely been dismissed as pseudoscience, although some studies suggest they may offer a placebo effect. So this is kind of what I had been saying. An older study presented at conferences in 1999 and 2001, but not published in a peer-reviewed journal, suggested that any healing benefits associated with crystals were most likely the result of the power of suggestion. The National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health notes that complementary health practices such as mindfulness and meditation can promote relaxation and may provide other benefits to people experiencing anxiety and depression and those managing symptoms related to a chronic condition. You may reap some of those same benefits depending on how you use crystals. Still, some people believe it goes deeper than that. Crystals are made up of different elements or compounds which our bodies react to in different ways, says Sonali Salyani, a crystal master healer. Crystals are minerals that hold energy, and as we as humans are made up of energy, we can exchange energy with the crystal when we work with it. Sayani points out that crystals are used to improve the function of many everyday objects like watches, plugs, households, hospital equipment, and lasers. She cites a 2008 study that states that quartz can act as a flint to start a fire or generate electricity. If a crystal can be piezoelectric, containing an electric charge, I am sure it can do so much more. They balance out electric currents and keep equipment from exploding, says Sanyani. In the same way, when it comes to crystals and our body, all they're doing is balancing out the frequency of the electromagnetic currents in our body. To help get started, we compiled a comprehensive roundup of some of the most popular crystals. So healing crystals for health. Clear quartz, a clear crystal considered a master healer and believed to support the entire energetic system. Jasper, a nurturing stone said to provide support during times of stress. Obsidian, believed to help process emotions and experience and aid in letting go. Amethyst, used for healing, purifying, and enhancing willpower. And bloodstone, said to improve circulation and provide support to blood-related issues. So there's that. Healing crystals for wealth. Tiger's eye, said to provide motivation and lessen fear. Citrine, believed to spark enthusiasm, creativity, and concentration. That's what citrine does, okay. Turquoise, thought to soothe emotions and attract good luck. Sapphire, known as a stone of prosperity. Jade, another well-known stone of prosperity and luck. Healing crystals for love. Rose quartz, sometimes referred to as the stone of love and believed to encourage love and trust. Moonstone, said to prompt feelings of inner strength and growth. And ruby, believed to support sexuality and sensuality. Different types of healing crystals and their meaning. Clear quartz, some consider this white crystal to be the master healer. Like above, it says to amplify energy, aid in concentration and memory, and help balance your energetic system. People often pair this with others like rose quartz to aid and enhance their abilities. Obsidian is believed to be an intensely protective stone. It's said to shield against physical and emotional negativity, get rid of emotional blockages, promote the qualities of strength, clarity, and compassion, and help you find your true sense of self. This stone may also help you digest experiences, emotions, and baggage, from freeing you from negative blockages. Rose quartz, just as the color may suggest, the pink stone is all about love. It's said to help restore trust and harmony in relationships, enhance connection, provide comfort and calm during times of grief, encourage love, respect, trust, and self-worth. And then jasper, the smooth crystal, is known to be the supreme nurturer. It's said to empower the spirit, support you through times of stress by preparing you to show up fully, protect you from and absorb negative vibes, and then promote courage, quick thinking, and confidence. These are traits that are extra helpful when tackling important issues. And citrine brings joy and wonder and enthusiasm to every part of your life. It's said to help you release negative emotions like fear and doubt, encourage optimism, worth motivation and clarity, enhance mindfulness qualities, encourage creativity, and support concentration. Turquoise is said to help heal the mind, body, and soul. It's a good luck charm. It helps balance emotions and support spiritual groundedness. When it comes to the body, it's said to represent the respiratory, skeletal, and immune systems. Amethyst, the purple stone, is said to be incredibly protective, healing, and purifying. Helps rid yourself of negative thoughts. Bring forth humility, sincerity, and spiritual wisdom. Promote willpower and healthy choices. Aid sleep and demystify dreams. And tiger's eye, stone you need for a power or motivation boost. It's said to help rid your mind and body of fear, anxiety, and self-doubt, guide you to harmony and balance, and help you make clear and conscious decisions. This can be beneficial for career aspirations or even matters of the heart. My God, there's so many. Moonstone is known for ushering new beginnings, encourage inner growth and strength, soothes feelings of stress and instability when embarking on new ventures, help you move forward successfully, promote positive thinking, intuition, and inspiration, and support success and good fortune. Bloodstone says to live up to its name. It is believed to draw off negative environmental energies, encourage circulation of ideas and energy, promote selflessness, creativity, and idealism, reduce irritability, aggressiveness, and impatience. Symbolically, bloodstone is associated with blood and blood-related bodily processes like menstruation. Sapphire is said to attract prosperity, happiness, and peace. Opening the mind to beauty and intuition, help with clear seeing, promote a positive mood. Ruby is said to restore vitality and energy levels, promote sexuality and sensuality, support intellectual pursuits, bring self-awareness and recognition to truth. So it's interesting when you read through all of these and what these crystals are meant to do, because from what I'm reading, so many of them kind of have similar things that they do, right? They're supposed to like promote positive thinking and encourage motivation and creativity and all of that, and, you know, prosperity. And I think it's kind of interesting because, again, I like to see that it's this idea of what you assign to it. It's what you think it does. And having these set, like, oh, I need this to promote this. You know, I once wanted citrine because I think I wanted to promote prosperity. And that's fine. If it's what you, if it helps and it's not hurting anyone, I don't see why not. It's very interesting, though, to also read through these and see that, like, aside from the very specific ones, like the promoting sexuality and sensuality, and stuff like that, they all kind of do the same thing, right? There's no set real difference between a lot of these lists, because you can kind of equate that with kind of the same thing. But, you know, it's also, as a person who works in mental health, and has, you know, talked with people and learned about mindfulness and how all of that works, it is all kind of the same idea of, like, trying to get your mindset to a certain place in where you are more of a positive thinker, you're more willing to go out and try harder because you believe that, like, if you do, good things will happen and you'll feel better. And most of that is true. I will also add that as a person who has gone through issues with depression and anxiety and all of that, and who still does from time to time, I always feel so much better when I get up and I just do something. And it's not even always like something productive. Sometimes I tell myself, like, when I am having a time period where I'm just kind of in a rut, I just tell myself I need to create something. Whether that's something in like a video game, like playing The Sims or something like that, or whether that's like I need to design a new mug, or just do a simple little craft, or build a Lego set, just something to like distract my mind long enough to get out of that idea. And when it's completed, I always feel good, even if it's something, like I said, that's not even productive. So I can understand, like, there's a lot of this same idea with mindfulness, and just having that mindset of like, you can just get up and do it, and it may seem impossible, but you can do something. You can work through this. And I'm not saying that having a positive attitude is the be all end all. It is still tough for me, and I've been trying the last few years to just have a more positive attitude towards things and not let things get to me. And things do still get to me. I still get angry about a lot of things, but I think it's more important to try and take a step back and realize that there's a lot of things that you can't control. There's a lot of things that are completely out of your sphere of influence. So just try to like take that in stride. Do the thing that you can do that makes you feel better, whether that's attaching meaning to a crystal or attaching meaning to an activity that you do. It's kind of like, as well, when I was a little kid and I was sick, the movie I would always watch was The Princess Bride, because The Princess Bride made me feel better, even though it didn't have any qualities necessarily to make me feel better, but it was literally just like my favorite movie, and it made me happy. So it put me in a better mood to watch it. And I even do that now. I'll watch, something that makes me feel good, and sometimes that helps a lot. And I think that's the same here, is that feeling. And there's nothing wrong with believing in that. And crystals are an interesting thought, because I think sometimes it's the same as mental health, where some people take them and they believe that this is the cure-all. And when it doesn't work, because they're not attaching that same meaning to it, and they're expecting it to just work without any work put into it, you get that reaction of people who believe that it's all a crock of shit. And I'm not like that. I don't think it's a crock of shit. I think, again, like I mentioned with the birthstones, I think it's what you put into it. It's what you believe. And, if wearing a crystal helps you feel a certain way, then do it. If it doesn't, don't put all your energy into that. Find the thing that makes you feel like you, Me wearing a crystal, it really probably does nothing for me. But, me, like, sitting down and doing something creative to get my mind flowing and working again, even if that doesn't technically actually do anything for me scientifically, it still helps me feel better, and I think that's what matters, Anyway, the article continues. Sorry for my little rant. I just have a lot of feelings about these kinds of things. How to select your crystal. First things first, identify what you feel you're missing before looking into what stones can provide you. This will help you determine what's happening within yourself before depending on outside sources. From there, just let your intuition choose what's best for you. Whether a crystal catches your eye or you feel pulled towards one, your inner subconscious can help guide you to the crystal that's right for you. Once it's picked out, you can create the connection you need. So literally what I was just saying, you assign what it means to you to help you feel better. So When you first bring your crystal home, experts say you'll need to cleanse away any negativity and that it may have picked up. Depending on the kind of stone, you can hold it under cold running water, immerse it in sea salt, place it in sunlight or moonlight, or smudge your crystal with sage or other herbs. Make sure you do your research before getting your crystal wet. Some stones become toxic or dissolve when immersed in water. Check the Mohs hardness scale to determine whether your crystal will disintegrate in water. It's not just about physical care, though. For crystals to work their magic, experts suggest mentally clearing negative energies or any skepticism you may have about their capabilities. According to believers, respecting what crystals can do for you is important. It makes sense. If you have doubts going in, they're never really going to fully go away. So you have to kind of let it do what it should do, or let you feel like it's doing what it should do in order for it to work. Many people believe the main benefit of crystals is their metaphysical abilities, but if we're being perfectly honest, they're also just really beautiful. It's no surprise that people make tons of accessories out of them, like jewelry or home decorations. Not only do they look nice, but a little extra positive energy doesn't hurt anyone. Prayer beads. Crystal prayer or mala beads are worn against the heart or on the wrist to inspire positive feelings, whether it be hope, courage, or peace. They're a great way for anyone to carry around the healing powers of crystals. Prayer beads can also be used during meditation to count repetitions of mantra or sacred chanting. Practitioners use the main or guru bead to keep count. Jewelry. Wearing them as jewelry can incorporate crystals into your daily routine and wardrobe. From rings to necklaces to earrings, there are plenty of options. It also allows you to showcase each stone's natural beauty. Coasters. You can find stunning coasters made from genuine gemstones. Ones made with agate stone are believed to help promote balance and harmony within the home. This is ideal for those who want to bring good energies into their abode. And sex toys. Sex toys are designed to mix their metaphysical energies with your sensual ones. They're great tools for those who want to try something new with a crystal-infused twist. Just be sure to skip the yoni eggs. Yeah, no, don't need those. Pipes. Believe it or not, you can even smoke from crystal hand pipes. They're smooth, easy to use, and sturdy. This makes them a great gift for anyone who uses cannabis. Water bottles. Cute water bottles are just as trendy as crystals, so it's no surprise they have merged into one. Crystal-infused water bottles contain a gem pod. It's said to promote everything from wellness and beauty to balance, though their actual benefits are up for debate. Where to buy them? It's important to buy crystals that are authentic and ethically sourced. Many crystals are overmined, contributing to social and environmental issues in their countries of origin. Crystals sometimes take thousands of years to form, which means there are only so many to go around. Ask your crystal seller how their crystals are sourced. They may even be able to provide a certificate of authenticity for very rare crystals. So, what are some frequently asked questions? What crystal is best for healing? The type of crystal you choose for healing may depend on the healing you need. Experts recommend clear quartz and amethyst for general healing. What are the top 7 healing crystals? The 7 healing stones correspond to the colors of the 7 chakras. While some stones can vary, a popular combination includes green fluorite, amethyst, red jasper, tiger's eye stone, sodalite, rock quartz, and red adventurine. What is the best crystal to wear every day? Clear quartz is believed to be a universal healer and may help balance energies. What do different healing crystals do? Some people believe that different healing crystals have energies that can have specific benefits for your mind and body. For example, crystals said to benefit health include clear quartz, jasper, obsidian, and amethyst, and bloodstone. Experts note that others, including sapphire and jade, promote prosperity, while citrine supports creativity. They believe others, like moonstone and rose quartz and ruby, promote love. Here's the takeaway from this article. If you're skeptical about healing crystals, they likely won't do you any good. They're unlikely to do you any harm, though. While there's no scientific evidence for crystals, that hasn't stopped people from trying them. An open mind is key to obtaining the positive qualities these beautiful stones can offer. Whether it's overall good energy you want or specific healing powers, there's nothing wrong with giving crystals an honest try. Who knows, you might be pleasantly surprised. And again, just, this was a really well done article, honestly. I won't lie. I think it hammers home the fact that, these are, scientifically, they're not going to, help you in any way. Don't just, wear crystals and stop going to doctors or any of that, because it makes no sense. But you should, if you want something that is going to help you feel maybe a little more positive about things, or maybe help you get through something that's really hard, why not give it a try? Why not give it a shot? I think reading this, I might actually try to wear, I have a little shark pendant that I believe has turquoise in it. Maybe I'll wear that more often and try to embed some positive energy into it. What did they say turquoise does? Turquoise, good luck charm, help balance emotions, support spiritual groundedness. Maybe that's what I need. Said to represent the respiratory, skeletal, and immune systems. I do have a shitty immune system, so maybe, putting some positive energy into that turquoise might help me. I don't know. Maybe I'll report back. We'll see. But I think that's where I'm going to leave it for now. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of I'm Already Looking It Up. If you want to help support my little podcast, you can go to patreon.com/wildforceproductions.com, and, either donate $1 or $2 or subscribe for a month. I don't have any tiers or anything going on right now, just because, I don't have any followers on there, which is okay. It's not a big deal. But you can always also follow the podcast, like it, subscribe, wherever. I have it on so many platforms. If you happen to be an Apple Podcast person and you want to help out, it does help if you leave a review. And that helps push it up in the metrics and gets it seen more often. So that would be good. But otherwise, yeah, I think that's it. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you for listening to I'm Already Looking It Up. This show is written, directed, edited, and produced all by me, Carly Kaufman. To show your support, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts, share, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. You can also check out at Wild Force Productions on Patreon, Tumblr, and Instagram, and Facebook. To find other ways to support the creator, check out at Empress Wild on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter /X, Facebook, TikTok, and also Instagram. And if you have any topic suggestions, feel free to throw them my way. Can't wait to see you in the next episode. Until then.